So Wednesday night is game one between the Winnipeg Jets and the Edmonton Oilers. We had a great chat with Jeff Hamilton of the Winnipeg Free Press on what came out of practice today. And one of the good news was that Andrew Copp was out there getting ready to hopefully, fingers crossed, return to the lineup coming up on Wednesday. And it is an absolute pleasure to welcome in Andrew Copp to Winnipeg Sports Daily of the Winnipeg Jets a couple days before dropping the puck against the Edmonton Oilers. Andrew, welcome to WST. What's going on?
Not too much. Just trying to enjoy a beautiful day in Winnipeg.
Yeah, no doubt. Weather is gorgeous. Kind of feels like playoff weather. And I know you and your teammates would love to be busy for a couple months going to the rink in these sort of conditions. First things first, how are you feeling? Obviously, you've been in and out of practice over the last couple days. Are you hopeful and confident that you'll be a part of the lineup when things get going against the Oilers?
Yeah, I'm confident I'll be in. Just a little minor setback in the last game against Vancouver, but felt good the last few days and should be good to go on Wednesday.
Now, what's the feeling like around the team right now? No matter what happens in the regular season, the goal when you begin the one of 56 is to book a ticket to the playoffs and have an opportunity to compete for the Stanley Cup. But it was a weird season. I mean, you guys had such a great start, did struggle late in the year, although seemingly sort of got back together and had some good results lately. How would you categorize just the feeling of the team in the room 2 days before the challenge against the Oilers?
Yeah, I think everyone's pretty excited. I think this is kind of what you build up throughout the year for to get to this point, and whether it's never a direct path. It's always ups and downs throughout the year, and we're kind of looking forward to proving people wrong about what they think about our team right now. So I think we're a confident group. I think we're there's definitely an added energy, added focus. As we go through these practice days and whatnot, that we're kind of getting to the best time of year and to that do or die time. So, there's no other option but winning games now, and if not, then we're not going to be playing hockey for very long.
Coach Maurice on a couple of occasions through, the 7-game losing streak and sort of coming out of it with some better results, kept coming back to the point that, he believes there's an opportunity for the club to be better for what they've gone through. And, part of it was getting back to the fundamentals, accepting the defensive things that need to happen to beat teams like Edmonton and Toronto. Where are you on that? And what do you think that you and your teammates can kind of take out of those struggles to, make you a better team when it counts? And that's, of course, the postseason.
Well, I think there's a lot to believe in that. I think that, our offensive game or our offensive numbers for the first 40, 45 games of the year were really good. And I think we became almost a little bit too reliant on that and too proud of what we can do offensively. And we forgot about, not forgot, but we weren't as sharp as we needed to be on the defensive side of the puck. And I think when you saw we went through a little bit of a scoring slump there, how badly we need our defensive game to be as tight as possible, especially going up against, McDavid and Draisaitl, and then if we were playing Toronto, it'd be Matthews and Marner and all those dangerous players that they have. So, there's a certain style of hockey that you have to play in the playoffs to win, and a certain belief that you have to have in both sides of your game, and a certain amount of confidence. So, I think our offensive game we figured out a little bit towards the end. Started to put up some numbers. I think our power play will be ready to go in that game one, and then it's just controlling that defensive side of the game, not letting McDavid and Draisaitl kind of have their way.
Now, you've had a career year, and I do want to talk a little bit about the season that you had individually, but, focusing in on this challenge against the Edmonton Oilers, the opportunity to talk to you about it is great because, not only have you had a lot of success offensively, but you're probably a guy that the coach is going to tap on the shoulder more often than not to go out with maybe the most difficult challenge in the National Hockey League, and that is going up against Connor McDavid. Just from your perspective, Andrew, what are the keys to, and look at the numbers. There's nobody that's completely shutting down a guy playing at that level, but when you get out there, what are the first things that you need to focus on and do well to minimize a guy that put up 105 points in the regular season?
Yeah, like you said, there's no quick answer. There's no easy fix. I think it's and it's not really one guy either. It's defending as a unit of five when he's on the ice and understanding where each other, are going to be, what each other's reads are. I think when he's on the ice, you realize his speed is his biggest weapon, right? So his rush game is better than anybody else's. His offensive game is better than everybody else's, but his rush game in particular is what makes him so dangerous. So, I think getting on top of him as he's coming through the neutral zone, puck management when you do have the puck at the blue line, or as you're maybe on a 3-on-2, and you see a play, the percentage of your calculations of the risk reward change when he's on the ice, depending on where that puck could go or where it could deflect to, and then he picks it up with speed, and then at that point he's already gone. So I think your risk reward calculations change when he's on the ice. So that puck managing, you're a little safer with it, and maybe you see a play that you might usually make, but when he's on the ice, you might decide to hold on to it or put it low, or make a safer play at the end of the day. So he's just that kind of player that changes everyone's risk reward calculations when he's on the ice. So and then stay out of the box too. I think their power play is top 5 in the league, and he's obviously a big part of that. So if we can manage the puck when he's on the ice and not really let him get the full speed wind up against our 2D, or if it's a 3-on-2 or whatever it is, and then stay out of the box as much as possible, I think that's a good recipe for us.
Andrew Copp of the Winnipeg Jets with us here live on Winnipeg Sports Talk Daily. You mentioned staying out of the box, and certainly discipline, in tight series and special teams can really be, the difference when, if two teams are going at it relatively closely at 5-on-5. For a guy that's done a lot of penalty kill, I have to ask you, is the challenge of penalty killing against a team or a power play like the Oilers with a Draisaitl and particularly McDavid different than a regular power play? Do you have to pay more attention, if that's possible, at 4-on-5 against players like that? Or is it pretty much just trying to execute the system as well as possible just against one of the best power plays in the league?
Well, I think, obviously those two are dangerous, and those are guys that you want to look for. But, Tyson Barrie's really dangerous up top too. Like, you can't just focus on McDavid and Draisaitl on that 5-on-4, because Barrie hits that one timer really nice. I think he scored a few on us this year. Chason's done a good job in front. Nugent Hopkins makes plays. So it's more of just the totality of their unit, and they're kind of a unique setup. Like, they kind of move around a lot. Like, it's not, if you're looking at, Tampa's power play, for example, last night, Kucherov and Stamkos on the side, Hedman up top, point in the middle, and then either Killorn and Palat net front. You kind of know where everyone's going to be. And, not that I'm saying that their power play is easy to go against. They scored 3 last night. But what makes these guys tough is that they kind of continuously move, and they're never in the same spot as they always are. So that actually makes your reads tougher sometimes. When it harder to plan for too, because you're planning for a guy being in a certain spot, and then he's 5 feet over from where he is. So then, is he my guy, or is he the defenseman's guy? Do I need to be back in this lane? Do I need to be in this lane? So it's a lot of reading, reacting for our PK against those guys, just based on how the intricacies of where they are exactly and how they move.
And I guess, speaking to all of that, safe to say, and particularly for you being one of the few players that are contributing on both sides of the special teams equation, penalty killing and power play. Listen, you want to get yours at 5-on-5, and you assume much of the game will be played on 5-on-5. But how impactful do you think this special teams battle will be in determining who comes out between Winnipeg and Edmonton?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big part of it. And a lot of the specialty teams is going to be your goaltending too. And obviously we feel like we got the best guy in the league. So, that's going to be a huge part of it, and a good indicator of where this series is going. Obviously 5-on-5 is going to be important, like you said, but those crucial power plays where you get a goal at the right time, or those crucial penalty kills where you're able to hold them off, late in the third, when you're up a goal or tied, it's, it can change the momentum of the series for sure.
Let me ask you about Hellebuyck while you mention it. We always laugh. I mean, to me, he's the most interesting interview in the NHL. I mean, he seems to be a guy that tells you exactly what he feels, no matter what, and that's not something you get every day. What's he like as a teammate behind the scenes? And just tell us about that level of confidence you and the Winnipeg Jets have when you know that 37's between the pipes.
Yeah, I mean a lot of confidence. I think we got confidence in both him and LB, but obviously with Helly, he's stolen so many games for us over the years. Specifically, last year felt like every night was kind of his night in the crease. So, but as a teammate, I mean he's a lighthearted guy. Like he's fun to joke around with. I'm lucky enough to skate with him in the summers a bunch, so we have a lot of games and stuff in his goalie sessions and he's always laughing. He's always having a good time out there, which kind of makes everyone else, laugh and have a good time. So he's an interesting character for sure, but super fun guy to be around, super fun guy to have in the locker room.
Andrew Copp with this here. Andrew, timing is everything, especially when you're in a contract year. Congratulations on a career season, 15 goals, 39 points in 55 games. I mean, overall, how would you assess the year for you, and what was it that went so well for you this season?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I think took advantage of some opportunity. I think you get on a power play and you get on a power play that's rolling. That's definitely a big part of it. Just felt like I was I feel like I've been on a trajectory kind of my entire career, just kind of improving every year. And whether that's ice time or whether that's points, I just feel like my role has grown each year and kind of just took another step, I think. I mean, I think that, this is kind of where I've always felt my game could get to. And, I still feel like there's levels it can. And it's just a matter of executing day in and day out. So I think I've been working hard in my game and I continued to last summer. And I think I took, some steps and was able to, get rewarded for that and got opportunity. And then it just kind of snowballs, right? Like you get some confidence and then you get more opportunity because you're playing well. And then it just kind of continues on. So, yeah, I mean, I was comfortable in my role. I was comfortable with my line mates, both, whether it was Laws and Appy or Ehlers and Stastny or Scheif and Wheels. It was kind of up and down the lineup again, but it felt like I had some chemistry with each line that I played with. And, I was able to produce at a pretty solid level.
Hey, speaking of that, obviously you are going to need a new contract for next year. Is that something your agents and the Jets talk about through the year? Was that always just left? Let's have a great season, play the playoffs, and then figure it out afterwards.
Yeah, I think mostly just kind of let's figure it out. After the season, I don't think there was too much dialogue going back and forth. I know, there's discussions, but they always, surround other players too, right? Like, my agent Kurt meant or represents a few other players that are prospects here or whatever. So, I think there's just comments made back and forth, just very very high level kind of things. But to get down to the nitty gritty, I think that was always going to wait till after the season.
Yeah, well, certainly the focus right now is on game one, I think, for everybody. So we'll hope that it goes well and then that gets taken care of afterwards. Tell us about the 4-goal game. That was, one of the highlights of the entire season so far this year. Pretty special night for you. And this is one of those nights where they start going in and it seems like everything you put at the net turns on a red light.
Yeah, I actually, I kind of got banged up early in the first, and I was like, didn't really feel that. Some nights you have it, some nights you don't. I really didn't feel like I kind of had it that night. And then we get, a couple power plays in the second period and you get 2 goals. And then no matter how bad you feel before you get 2 goals, you start feeling really good when you get 2 goals. And then, put the empty netter in. And then it was kind of like, all right, first hat trick, like, great game. And then we kept getting put out there. And then we scored the fourth with like a minute 15 left or whatever it was. And that was kind of almost you were just laughing at that point a little bit. It was just kind of one of those nights where everything was going in, everything was working. So, it was definitely a crazy night and one that I won't forget for sure.
Well, and not only was it one of the highlights of the season, but a huge personal highlight for you as well. What was the reaction from the boys in the room after that? I'm sure everyone was quite happy for you, but everyone said that you're going to take everyone's spot on the top line and the new top gun in the room.
No, I don't know about that. I think I got some heat for not passing on the empty netter, which looking back on it, I probably should. But in the moment, it was kind of it wasn't like there there was going to be a lot of opportunity on a breakout. It was kind of like one where I kind of picked off from JT Miller and then just kind of shot it down. So I knew that they were going to try and find me for the empty netter if they had it, just to get the first career hat trick. But just kind of saw I had a lane and when shot it. So I took a little heat for not passing it, but I was, the fourth goal got both my line mates assists, so that was a good way to finish, just so those guys didn't have 0 points in a game where I get a hat trick. That doesn't sound right.
What happened to the pucks? I saw the picture with all four of them afterwards. Did you give them to different family members? Are they together?
I think the Jets still have them right now. I think they're putting something together to commemorate the night. So I think all four of those pucks are still with the Jets right now.
Well, speaking of commemorating the night, often on this program when we're talking about non-hockey things or whatever, we have gone to NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Remus is a big NBA Top Shot guy, and you have gotten into the NFT game with a one-of-one NFT commemorating the 4-goal game. Tell us about this. How did it come about? When did you even learn what a non-fungible token was?
Yeah. Well, one of my best friends from back home, we went to Michigan together. He's a super smart guy. Played hockey there. He's kind of been involved in a lot of like the crypto space. He has like his own e-commerce website. It's kind of a lot. It's a lot of stuff that he says that just kind of sounds really good, but you don't actually know what he does. But so he's a few of the guys that played in Michigan with him, we're all kind of doing it together, and I just happened to be the first one that released it. But we got it together, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do this. And he was working with some people that thought it'd be a good idea, and it's not really it was kind of cool to just do together, and something that I think is going to take off for him. Like he got a contract with my agency now, that anybody that uses it that goes through my agency that wants to do an NFT, they get the guy. So it's kind of one of those things that I'm kind of a guinea pig for, almost kind of seeing how it goes, how the one-on-one goes, how the the whole design of it works. So I'm just kind of happy to do it with him and do something special together, more so than it is just for me or for whatever it goes for. It's not really about that at all. I think it was kind of something fun to do together, and we've already had other business ideas going back and forth. Last summer we had a big whiteboard that we were putting stuff on. So I mean, at some point we were going to do something together. It was just a matter of time. So it was super fun to do with him, and yeah, we'll see what it goes for. I don't think we're holding our breath for anything crazy. I think we were just happy to do something together.
Yeah, well, and people, if they want to find out more information or bid on it, if you go to Andrew's Instagram, which is at Copper94, the link is in the bio. It'll send you there. You can see all it. It comes with a couple tickets to a game, the chance to meet Andrew after a game as well sometimes. So certainly really neat. Have you? Are you crypto guy now? I mean, are you going to be negotiating your next? Are you going to be getting paid in Bitcoin on your next deal?
I don't think so. I've paid attention to it. I don't have any Bitcoin or anything like that. My buddy is pressuring me, every day that I need to get some, or the Dogecoin or whatever. There's always something new going on. So I've paid attention to it. I kind of understand it, kind of follow it, but yeah, I think it'll be for me at some point, I'm sure, but not yet.
Andrew Copp, man, it's been great having you on the program. I'm very much looking forward to Wednesday. Just on the way, did you see many of the first 4 games on the weekend? There was some great hockey, and I have to admit, I'm personally triggered every time I see the building, with all these fans going on with what we're doing right here. But just what were your thoughts about seeing those first 4 games, the quality of the hockey, as well as seeing some buildings that have quite a few more fans than you've been able to play in front of this year?
Yeah, I watched most of the Washington game. Watched all the Tampa Florida game last night. That was a great game. I mean, it seemed like it had everything. And seeing the fans, I think they were somewhat half full, but it made it more enjoyable to watch too, with the crowd noise and everybody really into the game. So that was great to see. I watched a bit of the Vegas game too. They were obviously, I think they were half full too. So it was cool to see, the fans getting into it, which is, especially playoff time. That's what we're going to miss most here for sure. I think they're going to do something with the rink in terms of whiting it out, but it won't be the normal Winnipeg whiteout, which, it is what it is for the circumstance we have right now. But seeing some of those games yesterday was great hockey, and it was just great to see all the fans in the stands and the energy in the building.
Well, it was great to see, just how awesome the games were to start off. But I can tell you, everyone here with us on Winnipeg Sports Talk is counting down the hours to Wednesday night. I'm sure you and your teammates are as well. Andrew, listen, thanks so much for doing this. Congrats on the great season. Good luck with the NFT. But most importantly, good luck Wednesday into the series against the Edmonton Oilers. And we'll look forward to doing this with you sometime.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me.
Appreciate it. There he is, Andrew Copp. You can follow him on Twitter at Copp94. And if you're interested in more on that NFT that he's just put out, go to his Instagram at Copper94. Click the link in his bio and you can find out more. Really interesting stuff from a really interesting guy. Great. Thanks so much to Andrew Copp, and big thanks to Scott and the Jets for making that happen.